So the odds of going to the Olympic Games are about 1 in 500,000. There are 10,000 athletes at the Summer Olympics. 1 in 500,000. Odds of winning gold, 3 in 10 million. Just going to say that again, 3 in 10 million. It's a phenomenal achievement. But when you see an athlete on the podium with a gold medal around their neck in floods of tears, do you assume that they're crying tears of joy? Because from time to time, those tears might actually be because they are numb with a reality check. Is this it? Was it even worth it? In my role as a performance psychologist, I've been privileged to work at the last 3 Olympic Games. I've coached Olympic champions, international footballers, distinguished surgeons, and global business leaders. I've learnt far more from them than I think they might have done from me. I've seen dreams come true and hearts broken. And through it all, I've learned that there are many different ways to win, and there are many different types of win. 10 gold medals around your neck can still leave someone feeling empty. The best kinds of win are where the whole person is flourishing, what the brilliant psychologist Dr. Pippa Grange calls winning deep. Now, you can't tell whether someone has won deep by where they're standing on the podium. You have to take the time to ask a few deeper questions. Questions like, how did you grow as a human being through your pursuit of greatness? Did you feel seen, heard, and truly valued for who you are? Did you build relationships that will endure? Did you create memories that are special to you? Are you proud of the effort you put in to be the very best you can be? And none of these questions are about the result. And the performers that I've coached that have truly won deep, that showed me what it looked like, they were all brilliantly unique, completely different, maybe even amazing. But through a myriad of diversity, they had one thing in common. They were powered by purpose. They were dedicated to a cause bigger than themselves. They were working in service of something they found meaningful. There was a message in their mastery. So here is a key. The pursuit of greatness is never just about you. It's always something bigger. What these ladies and gentlemen achieved was inspiring, but who they became along the way, the impact they had on others, and what they represented, that's what captivates. That's what translates a shallow win into a deeper win. So their sense of purpose was almost like a superpower. It unlocked an incredible fascination with the process of learning. They were deeply engaged in problem solving, never expecting or needing it to be easy. They were more open to collaboration. They were working harder and smarter than others. They were able to endure struggle, suffering, and find meaning in it, sometimes even joy. And above all, they seemed to be prouder of their effort and their attitude as the result they actually achieved. So here is a message. The pursuit of greatness, one of the keys to winning deep, whether you're a sports person or a business person, whether you're a parent or a student, is finding your purpose. The problem is that this is not actually that easy to do. What are the opportunities or platforms for us to discover purpose? Think about what percentage of the world have no clue where to look or how to go about it. Sometimes it can happen by chance. A tragedy or a crisis hurls people into reflecting on things that they wish they'd learned earlier in life. But what really matters? This is a hard way to get it. Sometimes it happens when you've got loving family or teachers who are present and skillful enough to guide you through and coach you to uncover your purpose. And I say skillful in part because life often places your purpose right next to your deepest wound. And most of us, understandably so, prefer to distract from or avoid vulnerability. But in doing so, we might miss the fact that the wound, as the poet Rumi so eloquently stated, is the place where the light enters you. So how do we open ourselves up to the light? I spent at least 10 years ignoring mine, until I finally listened to what friends and mentors had been telling me all along, which was that actually failing to achieve my dreams and goals as a gymnast was the beginning of starting to find my purpose. That when I turned suffering that I was ashamed of into something that I could learn from and be curious about, I started to find my purpose in helping other people explore their potential to grow through their sport. Sometimes then you might find your purpose if you're part of a really forward-thinking sports team, or you've got a business coach or a mentor. But purpose is too important to be left to chance or reserved for a privileged few. As a psychologist, I also see a really big connection between lack of purpose and the mental health crisis that we're now facing. 1 in 6 young people have a mental health condition. The figure is the same for adults. 1 in 10 young people self-harm. Think about that next time you look at your kids' friends. Now, to a degree, these figures, these statistics are a natural response to basic human needs not being met. The need for safety, for a hopeful future, for connection, but purpose connects to all of these. As the incredible Auschwitz survivor and psychotherapist Viktor Frankl once said, if you can find purpose and meaning in life, you can survive anything. So, we need a purpose revolution. But who is going to lead it? I ask myself this a lot. And sometimes I think parents, the most important job of all, and the one you receive the least training for, speaking as the mother of a 3-year-old, no clue what I'm doing. Maybe we should look to teachers. They seem to be expected to fix everything these days. But children spend 20,000 hours at school. You've all been to school. Some of you maybe still are at school. Was there a teacher that unlocked something special in you? I still remember, 25 years on, my first ever psychology teacher, Mrs. Montai. But against a backdrop of increasingly unrealistic demands and really complex conditions, teachers are facing unprecedented levels of burnout. I asked a group of Year 8 students recently if they liked themselves. 45% said yes. Something has to change, and the good news is we actually know the answer, all of us together. We need a new kind of curriculum, a focused program that teaches young people not what to think, but how to think, that helps them learn how their mind works, that gives them space to explore what they're passionate about as a priority, not an afterthought, at the heart of the curriculum, not squeezed into half an hour of tutor time on a Friday morning. Ultimately, you cannot thrive without purpose. And the kids that have purpose anyway, the kids that are thriving, they're going to pass exams anyway. So, a program in schools that really excels at asking questions. Just that. Just asking great questions, really meaningful questions, open questions that help students become comfortable looking within for answers. Questions where there is no right or wrong, rather ones that spark a journey of self-discovery that cause me to think about my truth, and where it's okay for my truth to differ to your truth. So I come to school and I have an opportunity to explore what my gifts are. What gives you energy? What are your goals? But critically, why are they your goals? What's truly in your heart? A program that teaches how to listen as one of the most life-changing skills of all. How to put expectations and distractions away and be really present. To listen deeply, not for who you think you should be or who you've been told to be, but who you truly are. Our brains are wired for struggle. It keeps us alive. But what if we could reframe our failures as genuinely just part of our experience? If they were things we could talk about, be proud of, and learn from? What if we could change the paradigm of measurement from salaries and status and possessions as the ultimate markers of success to becoming nurturing, compassionate human beings. We have to be brave enough to think differently and do things differently. And it could start with all of us here today. I invite you to think about and recognize that you are enough just as you are. That you are brilliantly unique, just like everybody else. You have nothing to prove, only things to discover. This is the first step to starting to explore your true potential, because when you are driven by love and curiosity and possibility, as opposed to fear and comparison, you are unstoppable. So whatever your purpose or dream may be, whether it's something global, like making a positive difference in the world, whether it's something specific, like figuring out how to address plastics in our ocean, whether it's something wholehearted, like cherishing your friends and family, or something more philosophical, like really enjoying the seasons as they pass. Whether your purpose is evolving over time, or whether it's unchanging, it doesn't matter. It only matters that you spend time discovering it, that you set goals that speak to your purpose, not goals that you think others expect you to achieve. So, to the 3 in 10 million of you that will win gold in Paris 2024, you're out there somewhere, to the youngsters who are struggling to understand why they're even at school, let alone what they're supposed to do next, to you and to me, we are all in our own personal Olympics. We have an opportunity to define success on our terms. This is the beginning of really building on our potential. It's vulnerable to think about what you really care about, even more so to take steps to bring that into life day to day. But if we do that together, if we let the light in, if we see the light in others, then we can start to ignite greatness in each other. Yeah, this is how we win deep. Because ultimately, there is no point standing on a podium unless you know what you stand for. Thank you.